Every large AEM project eventually says the same thing. We need a design system. 6 months later, the design system exists and nobody follows it. In this video, I'll explain why most design systems fail in enterprise AEM projects and, more importantly, what actually works in the real world. On paper, design systems sound perfect. Visual consistency, faster development, fewer bugs, easy onboarding. It feels like all the hard problems are solved. But notice something important. All of these are outcomes, not guarantees. A design system doesn't magically enforce good decisions. It doesn't stop teams from bypassing rules. And it doesn't prevent architectural shortcuts. Key line: a design system doesn't create discipline. Teams do. Without ownership, constraints, and enforcement, a design system becomes documentation, not a system. Now let's look at reality. In real AEM projects, you have multiple teams, multiple brands, author-driven layouts, and tight deadlines. Now add AEM into the mix: editable containers, component variants, and shared client libs. Suddenly, the design system isn't just a UI concern. It's a content problem, an authoring problem, and an architecture problem. If the design system doesn't account for how authors build pages and how code is delivered, consistency breaks, even if the components look perfect on paper. Most enterprise design systems don't fail because they're wrong. They fail because they're disconnected from how teams actually build and ship. Here's what usually happens: they're treated as a UI library, not a system. They're owned by no one, so rules slowly decay. They're either too rigid to use or too loose to trust. And under delivery pressure, they're simply ignored. A design system that slows teams down will be bypassed. If a system doesn't align with real workflows, authoring realities, and release constraints, teams will find workarounds, and consistency disappears. In AEM, teams often confuse components with patterns. Instead of defining a small set of reusable patterns, they create dozens of components, each slightly different. Variants explode. CSS overrides pile up. JavaScript behavior becomes inconsistent. Suddenly, you have 30 components doing the job of 5 patterns, and it's still called a design system. More components doesn't mean a better system. A real design system reduces choices, enforces patterns, and makes the right way the easiest way. A real design system is not a Figma file, and it's not just a component repository. A real design system is a shared set of decisions. Decisions about spacing rules, typography scales, interaction patterns, and what authors are allowed and not allowed to change. These are decisions teams stop remaking on every page and in every sprint. When those decisions are clear and enforced, development speeds up, consistency improves, and refactors become safer. Without them, a design system is just documentation, easy to ignore and impossible to scale. Enterprise AEM teams succeed when the design layers, not libraries. At the foundation are design tokens: colors, spacing, typography, the values that stay consistent everywhere. Above that are layout primitives: grids, containers, spacing rules, defining structure without styling details. Then come flexible components, built to assemble content and behavior, not hard-coded layouts. And finally, controlled variants, intentional options, not endless customization. This layered model keeps complexity in check. Architect insight: design systems scale when they reduce choices, not when they add options. When teams stop redeciding the same things, they ship faster, refactor safely, and maintain consistency, even at scale. In AEM, authors are powerful, and that power needs protection. A good design system does not give authors free-form styling. It exposes variants, not raw CSS. Spacing, layout, and typography follow predefined rules. Guardrails matter more than flexibility because authors should never have the power to break layouts, even accidentally. Keyline: freedom without guardrails becomes inconsistency. When choices are intentional and limited, authors move faster, layout stays stable, and the system scales safely. Ownership is what decides whether a design system succeeds or slowly rots. Ask these questions: who owns the design tokens? Who approves new variants? Who removes bad or outdated patterns? Without clear answers, exceptions accumulate. Temporary workarounds become permanent rules. A design system without ownership is just documentation. Real systems survive because someone is accountable for keeping them consistent, relevant, and enforced, especially under delivery pressure. Senior engineers understand one critical difference. Design systems fail when teams treat them as assets, something to consume, import, and forget. They succeed when teams treat them as architecture, a set of enforced decisions, ownership, and constraints that shape how work gets done. That mindset shift is what separates design systems that collapse from systems that actually scale. If your design system failed, it wasn't a waste. It exposed something important, where structure, ownership, and discipline were missing. That's where real front-end architecture begins. Design systems don't fix teams. Teams fix design systems. Comment below. Did your design system fail because of tools, teams, or ownership? I'm curious to hear your experience.